Sure you all recognize me. I'm here to talk about a few things. The first thing is, though, I want to introduce a friend of mine, Alix, who has a medical blog called Med Nauseam, and she was very critical in getting me to get my food completely gluten-free. She is an expert on gluten and medical issues. In fact, I read her blog this morning. 5 articles. So if you have any questions about gluten, I think it's a real epidemic in this country. It's hard to get my kids off of it at this point. So feel free to ask her anything about that. Today I'd like to talk about the raw food world and the lack of flavor in it. The things I want to talk about today are putting flavor back into it. And what I do with a lot of my food is I cook a lot of my food in the dehydrator. And the first thing I want to talk about, though, is rejuvelac and sprouting this. I don't bring any papers with me, so if you need to write this down, feel free. I'm going to give you a recipe for it. Alix was the one who taught me that you can't use wheat berries or rye to do rejuvelac and have it gluten-free. So you can go to the celiac website, and there are gluten-free grains out there such as quinoa, amaranth, millet, teff. This batch right here is basically quinoa, millet, and amaranth, equal amounts. The way I do mine, and I do a lot of it, by the way. I don't know if everybody got a taste of the rejuvelac lemonade, but we're starting to sell that at the farmer's market, so we're doing gallons of it now. You take 3/4 of a cup of your grain, whatever that is. I did a mixture, a 1/4 cup of each. Quinoa, amaranth, and millet. You can just do quinoa if you want. And soak it for about 8 hours. Pour that off and let it sit around and sprout for 8 to 12 hours. And then put 6 cups of water on top of it after it's been sprouted. It's a very simple process. Put 6 cups on it. Let it sit for 2 days. At that point, pour off the rejuvelac, and you have what they call first-day rejuvelac. It's very, very smooth. It's actually, you can drink it straight.
Outside in the fridge?
Outside about 70 degrees.
Okay, so what are we keeping what we pour off, or
Yes.
keeping what's not poured off?
No, you're keeping what's poured off. When you begin to sprout the grains, you're pouring that off and you're letting that go. Right? You're just using that water to moisten it. And so after you poured off the 6 cups, you put on another 4.5 cups. And you let that sit for only a day.
Oh, wait, what happens after you pour up the first day rejuvelac?
That's the first 2 days. So you let that sit for 2 days.
Right.
The 6 cups.
Yeah.
You pour that off, you save it, you put it in a jar, you put it in the refrigerator, you start drinking it. You put 4.5 cups on top of these grains again. So I'll go home tonight and put 6 cups in here and let it sit for 2 days. What's it?
Just in the dark or anything? Or?
I just, on the countertop.
Sit for two more days.
Right.
Okay.
Pour it off, then you put 4.5 cups on top of it. Pour that off after only 24 hours. You pour that off and you put 3 cups on top of that and let that sit for 24 hours. 3rd day rejuvelac.
Wait, 3 cups for...
24 hours.
Are you drinking those? Wait, that's at the 4.5 cups is 24 hours.
I drink it. Oh yeah, you're supposed to drink it. I mean, it's... No, the first one you're supposed to... No, when you sprout these, okay, you're just wetting it, right? You're wetting the grains, and then you're pouring that water off, and you're letting these kind of dry out. You see how they're dry? Just sticking to this, right? I just poured that water off.
And then you don't drink that.
You don't drink that water. Okay.
So the 3rd day...
The 3rd day rejuvelac, let me just say something about the 3rd day rejuvelac, okay? Still loaded with enzymes. Still great for you. but the smell and the taste, a little bit to be desired. You definitely would have to go down the path of the ginger lemonade. What I do with it actually is if I'm going to make a goat's cheese or a Parmesan cheese out of nut and seeds, I'll use the third day rejuvelac because that's the strongest. It's, you know, when you smell cheese, it's like, whoa, you know, you can smell the barnyard. And that's a little bit like what this is.
That's after
That's the third day.
Yeah, the 24 hours.
Right.
And then after that, you said you add 3 more cups or something?
Yes, you add 3 cups. You set that for a day. And then your grains are done.
After the third pour.
After the third pour, they're done. You can either throw them out, you can throw them into a dish, you know, throw them into a cracker if you're making a...
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You don't have to throw them out, but...
And you can drink the first, second.
You can drink them all. I'm just letting you know that the third day is, you know, it's not... Right. You're not going to want to sit there and go, oh, great, third day rejuvelac. I'm looking forward to that.
Drink the first day?
The first day is the best day. I mean, the first
24 hours.
No, you set it for 48 hours, 2 days, the first 6 cups.
Okay.
And then after that, the second day rejuvelac goes for 1 day.
But do you drink the one that you left there for 48 hours?
Yes.
The
Yes.
6 cups.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that technically be second day for rejuvelac?
Well,
Next time it's going to bring us.
no.
No?
No.
So after the first soak, before the sprout, you don't rinse?
Yes.
You don't have to do a rinse
Yeah.
like you would if you were sprouting?
Yes. Just like you're sprouting.
And what are you adding to your lovely lemonade?
Oh, that is a combination, if you want to write this one down.
That's what we want to know.
Okay. It's ginger lemonade. 1 part fresh squeezed ginger juice, 2 parts fresh squeezed lemon juice, 4 parts agave. And you only need a tablespoon, or depending on how sweet you want it, a tablespoon or 2 of that. So that right there would be, you would, if you did 1 cup of ginger juice, you wouldn't be able to fill that jar up with the rest of the goods. So really start off with a half a cup of ginger juice, a cup of lemon juice, and maybe 2 cups of agave, and that will last you probably a week or 2.
And there's no rejuvelac?
No. So then what you do is you take a tablespoon of that, put it in a glass, pour the rejuvelac on top of it, mix it around, and drink it. You can put sparkling water with it. You can...
Just to whatever your taste
Yeah.
and liking is as far as the ratio on that.
It really is a great thing because rejuvelac is hard to drink by itself.
So is
It
that
is.
one with the rejuvelac? Or is that
No, that's just by itself. That's just...
Oh, okay. That's why it was confusing. Somebody said it was lemon rejuvelac, and we couldn't taste the rejuvelac. We're like,
That's good.
So if you have half ginger, 1 cup lemon, then you have 2 cups, or
2 cups.
2 cups of agave.
Yeah.
By the way, Jeff is recording this, so we can go back on the website and look.
Which website would that be?
Oh, Jeff will post it. I'll send a link.
So moving on. So I put rejuvelac, by the way, in everything. It gives it what they call an umami taste that's been missing in the raw food world. I put it in all sorts of nut cheeses. You had it tonight. If you had, the Reuben, the lemon cheesecake. That's what gives it that cheesy flavor is rejuvelac. It's also in all of the cones. It's in all of the savory cones. It's not in the sweet cones. So I use it liberally. All over the place, and it gives it a nice, just a nice kind of umami flavor. I make Parmesan cheese out of pine nuts and cashews, and I use the third day rejuvelac on that, and I let it actually ferment outside, and it starts to grow. The nuts start to grow, and then you put it, and you're thinking to yourself, is this stuff going to be bad? But it's not. So anyway, use it wherever you think you might want to. Back to where I was talking about putting things into the dehydrator. I put almost all of my food in the dehydrator, other than things like the spicy Thai, which has to be fresh and clean. I'm going to teach you how to make a tomato sauce tonight. Once you've had it, you pretty much won't want to do something over the stove ever again. You just have to rethink how you're cooking. I made this tomato sauce this morning when I woke up. It takes about 15 minutes of, not even that, of prep time. And all you really do is chop up 2 pounds of tomatoes. Just quarter them, by the way. You don't want to cut them too small, because what ends up happening if they go into the dehydrator and they're too small, they actually will get too dry. And the other thing is, you don't want, hopefully you have dehydrators with timers on them. If you don't, you just better be able to get back in time for it, because otherwise you're going to have truly really dried tomatoes, and it just won't have any sauce to it. Okay, I put in 3 tablespoons of organic olive oil and 2 tablespoons of maple syrup grade B. A teaspoon of salt. And then what you do is you take, where'd it go? Onion and shallot and garlic. And the way I do it is, you can do it any way you want, but I measure out the garlic as far as the weight goes. I take 3 cloves of garlic, whatever that weighs, I double the shallot or onion. It was just here. Oh, maybe, here it is. So if it weighs, say, 9 or 10 grams, the garlic, put in, 20 grams of onion, whatever it weighs. And then 2 tablespoons of Italian seasoning. And that's it. You just toss it around. Oh, here it is. You don't even really have to. I've done it before where you don't even have to chop up the garlic. You could literally just throw that in there, like that. Okay? Toss it around, put it in there. You're going to get a little bit more of an onion bite, because the onion's not going to dehydrate the way it would if it was chopped. But this is what you get. This I put in this morning. And it looks... It is nice. I mean, and all the flavors really, really meld together.
So how long do you hydrate it?
8 hours. Now, what I've found is you can go 10 hours on it, but you've got to eat the sauce that day. It will not last more than, basically 24 hours. And honestly, I'm not really sure why. I think you're taking so much moisture out of it. I mean, what's cool about this is, check this out. The maple syrup just gets, it just gets incredibly thick. Yeah. Yeah, I like the porcelain pans. Well, I like it because it has ridges on it. Edges on it. The Teflex, the dehydrator sheets. Man, it makes it really, really messy. Thank you.
What temperature?
Below 120 is my rule of thumb. If you do it at 1, and there's a huge difference, by the way, between 105 and 115. It does make a significant amount of difference how much time. So I'm always like pushing. I'm right there at 115, 118. I put a thermometer in there on a regular basis, because these things are, by the way, are very inaccurate. What they say on here what the temperature is completely misleading. I usually have to have most of my dehydrators set at 95 here in order for it to not go over the 115 mark. Granted, I put mine through a lot of abuse, but you know. So you just put it in your food processor for basically 1 minute, and it comes out as just a very, very nice, thick sauce. The other thing that you'll notice is later on in the season, when tomatoes actually come into season around late August, September, you will not have to use as much maple syrup. You can lower that back down to maybe a tablespoon. I don't even know if that was a minute or not, but I mean, it's, do I have an extra one? Oh, yeah. It's nice and chunky. Pardon me? Food can be frozen. I've heard that before. I've also heard that it does lose some of its nutritional value when it is. But yeah, I'm sure it can be.
I don't think you do it very often, though.
Who, me? No. But, why not? I mean, life's all about convenience these days, right? I would, when you rethink about the way you cook, when you wake up in the morning, you go, oh, hey, I want a lasagna for dinner. You throw these tomatoes in before you go to work, and you come back, and they're ready to go.
Is it nauseum with a Z?
That nauseum is N-E-D-N-A-U-S-E-A-M, not U-M.
So we're going to taste that later.
S-E-A-M, yeah. Thanks. Yeah, my blog is med, M-E-D, nauseum, N-A-U-S-E-A-M.com. It's like ad nauseum, but it's like ad nauseum, but med nauseum. Med, yeah. That's a joke. M-E-D-N-A-U-S-E-A-M.com. Yeah.
So by the way, we're doing a couple of different. Oh, sorry. We're doing a couple of different lasagnas tonight. I wanted to kind of get people to think outside the box. So we're going to do a nut cheese now. Very, very basic. It's so basic that you'd be surprised at what's in it. Cashews and almonds. You can do whatever you want, a cup of each. You can put in all cashews. I rarely go all almonds just because they're so grainy. You don't get any creaminess out of them, but not to say that you couldn't. You could use pine nuts. You could use Brazil nuts if you wanted to. I don't use Brazil nuts because I've had so many people come up to me over the years saying, you don't use Brazil nuts, right? So just as a business, I don't use them. Well, no, I just when you have customers come up, they're allergic to them.
Oh, allergic.
I mean, I saw Elena Love do a presentation, and she cross-contaminated one of her guests with Brazil nuts. I mean, from the just from it not being cleaned or something, the woman all of a sudden her throat just was like, whoa.
That has more toxins. It has more potential for toxins than any other nut.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I had a woman come by the booth. I don't use pine nuts mostly because they're so damn expensive right now. Pardon me? Yes, they are. Soaked. Here's another thing about cashews. You don't really need to soak cashews like they always say you do in a blender, especially if you have one of these things, unless you're making some sort of creamy sauce. I soak them in here because it breaks it down much easier. It's easier on the equipment. Next is rejuvelac. A cup of rejuvelac. A half a cup of lemon juice. 3 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. and a teaspoon of salt, and you have yourself cheese. Okay, I'm not going to, I let this thing run, and you should too, for 5 minutes. I'm not going to do it tonight. Well, I'll show you what it looks like when it's done, but I'm not going to, 5 minutes. Pardon me? What kind of that's a RoboCoo. A RoboCoo. This is, some people will consider this commercial grade, and it is considered commercial grade, but when you get into the RoboCoos that are coming out now, this is like the high-end home model. Yes, you can find them on Craigslist used. This one you can find used for probably, I don't know, between $500 and $700. But they, I just looked at, RoboCoo just gave me one for 2 weeks to use. I actually ended up having it for about 2 months. It was $7,000, but it was absolutely, it did everything. All the different attachments that it had, it was amazing. So this is what it comes out.
How long do you soak nuts for in the beginning?
I'd like to do them a minimum of, 5 hours. I'll go as long as overnight, even 10 or 12 hours because I forgot about them. It's not going to ruin them by any stretch of the imagination.
What you just showed us, has that been fermented? Is that fermented right there? Or
This?
rejuvelac yet, or is it-
This has been fermenting. This has been fermented. Once it ferments, you don't want to just leave it out there for days. This stuff will last a long time. It's amazing. Yeah, at least. I mean, at least a week if it's kept, cold. I leave my refrigerator pretty darn cold, so it might even go 10 days. So anyway, that's it. I mean, that's how simple. Now, the other thing that's really nice about this, you can add vegetables to it. So, for example, I'm giving you all my secrets. The Reuben cone, same basic recipe, except I add some caper berries or capers, a little bit of celery, and a little bit of carrot. Chop those up first before you put the nuts in, and lower the salt content because of the celery. When you start to put salty vegetables in your dishes, reel back the salt.
You mean the capers?
And the celery. Celery is you can actually make salt out of celery. If you just blend it, put it on a dehydrator tray, and put it in there. Yeah.
So how do you ferment the rejuvelac?
Well, you can take your cheese.
The cheese is fermented, not the rejuvelac.
Right. But the rejuvelac's in here. And then you can leave it out on your counter. I actually don't ever really leave it out on the counter. Once in a while I will, just to experiment. But I just throw it right back into the refrigerator because I want it to last. Once you start fermenting something, if you're going to eat it right away, great. But if you're not, then, I don't know. Yeah. You'll see. It's interesting. You'll see. It'll start to separate. Their air pockets will start to form.
I've kept cheese for like a long time and it's still eating. Like I found it in the back of the refrigerator like a month and it still is good.
Regular cheese.
No.
Oh, nut cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was a little worried it might hurt me, but it didn't. And it's fine.
The fermentation that preserves it.
preservers, and you can continue to eat it as long as it tastes good to you. Most people don't like to eat it beyond 10 days because the taste is so strong. But from a health perspective, the longer it ferments, as long as it still tastes good to you, it is good for you. And to answer your question about rejuvelac, that is a fermented beverage. Okay, so you're using the term fermentation in two ways. One is to call something a fermented something, and then also the process of fermentation is what happens when the cheese takes the fermentedness of the rejuvelac and it becomes a whole cheese.
Taking a fermentation class on the 3rd of April with the Sage Table here in Oakland. Will be my first one. So look forward to that.
Okay, so what most chefs will tell you how to, do a lasagna is they will tell you to get your zucchini or squash, do your frickin' whatever that thing is, the mandolin. Make sure you don't cut yourself, great. I find that, not that that's not cool. I mean, that's great, but I find it a little boring, actually. A couple of things. Here's a couple of ideas. You can make some pesto if you want, some arugula, some basil, and do walnuts with it. Olive oil. Put nutritional yeast in it. All very simple. This is a little invention of mine after going to Rainbow and paying $9 for smoked sea salt. I got a little chapped. $9 a pound. What I do is I take this Chinese tea, and I'll pass this around for people to smell. It's called I can't even pronounce it, Lipshan tea. And it smells just like barbecue.
Well, how do you spell it?
Good question. If I knew how to spell it, I'd probably be able to say it. No, it's not a. No, it's a. No, it's pretty normal actually. So this is very strong. So you don't use a lot of it. As far as the smell goes, you use it as. I use it strictly, pretty much just for smell, and then I will add more of the regular Himalayan salt. So that's Himalayan salt basically it just sits in with the tea. You can do, the other one, do lavender tea. Lavender salt. Do vanilla salt. So we're going to do salt with the haystacks today. So, you can imagine what kind of salt you could put on top of that. I'm not going to do a pesto today. I'm just going to show you, marinating these things. Marinating some arugula to go with your lasagna. Just massage it, and now all of a sudden, I look at this sometimes and go, oh, I just made ceviche, right? Because that's all this really is. I mean, if I added a little lime to it, salt and olive oil. You could throw some pepper in. I only use one kind, and that's from the Berkeley Olive Oil Company. The Berkeley Olive Oil Company. And they're out of, where are they? No, they're not actually. But it was actually started like 100 years ago from these professors at Berkeley. And this woman and her husband just bought it. Really nice. They're at the Berkeley Farmers Market. They just got into Whole Foods. And they've got 100-year trees out there. And the olive oil's fabulous. So anyway, basically, you've got cooked arugula. Right, without cooking it, and we'll put that with the lasagna tonight. So my lasagna tonight is going to be different. Instead of using your pasta as your lasagna, and you can do that with spinach, by the way, as well. Just do what I just did. We're going to use. I just thought of this actually last night. I got to do something different for these people because we're going to use flax crackers. And the reason I wanted to use flax crackers is if you're in a jam and you're inviting people over and you want to dazzle them, because you will be dazzled by this, by the way. Go down to, wherever you're going to get Cracker Lady's crackers.
Yeah, she's supposed to be here.
Oh, all right. Go get Lydia, go get some crackers or something if you want to do raw, and use this as your pasta. Layer it, and they don't have to be this big. In fact, I'm going to break them in. You can layer it like this. That's all pasta. A lasagna is layered pasta, right? And you're going to put stuff in the middle of it. The other one that I came up with, which is fabulous, by the way. You guys are going to be blown out by this one. I'm going to use crispy kale tonight as my pasta, right? And I'm going to put a sour cream with it, avocado, and a red bell pepper sauce. But, I mean, so when I say start thinking outside the box, think outside the box. I mean, why can't that be, right? I call that green on green because I'm going to use spinach as one of the main components with the kale.
What do you do with your kale? Do you put anything on it?
Oh, I do. You want that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. 4 heads of kale, destemmed. I like the curly stuff actually better than the dino. I like the curly better than the dino for crispy kale. It's got a little bit more, girth to it. A quarter cup of olive oil, quarter cup of wheat-free tamari, and a quarter cup of either lime juice, lemon juice, or apple cider vinegar, or a combination thereof, those 3 items. The 3? So you got to have your fat, which is the olive oil. You got to have your salt, which is the tamari. And then you got to have your tart, which is either the apple cider vinegar, lime, or lemon. And you can use a combination of all 3 of those if you want to. This one is basically lime juice, tamari, and olive oil.
You don't add like yeast or you don't do the yeast or
Well, yes, I have.
That's a nice usual crispy kale.
Yeah, when you taste it, you'll go, oh yeah, that's dialed in. For 4 heads of kale. Can you stretch it to 5 heads? Probably. Okay, a real quick little sour cream.
So you destem it, you mix it with the stuff, you toss it on the sheets in the dehydrator? Or?
I actually don't put it on the sheets. I put it on the mesh. Right. Actually, let me tell you how I do it, just so you don't destroy your dehydrator. The bottom shelf. Okay, you're only going to get about 2 trays in here with 5 heads of kale. If the kale's good and it's nice and meaty, you put the bottom tray does have a sheet on it. Okay, and then the next trays do not. Right, they can drip onto that bottom one if it has to. You just don't want that stuff to get onto the bottom of the dehydrator. Red bell pepper sauce. Yes. Yes, because the bottom one, you have to take it out, turn all the goods over because the bottom is it hasn't dehydrated yet. I mean, not a lot longer, but maybe an hour or 2.
How long does it take you to bring it?
8 hours. Look at it at 8 hours. Taste it at 8 hours. Does it go 10? Sure. Does it go 12? Occasionally. But about 8 hours. Okay, red bell pepper sauce. Super simple. Super simple. 2 or 3 bell peppers tossed with a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of salt. And to concentrate the flavor once again, what do? Thank you. Put it in the dehydrator for 8 hours. So do this in the morning or do it at night. That's the other thing I do. I do a lot of cooking, or whatever you want to call it, in the morning and at night. Right? Get stuff done in the morning and get it done at night, and you'll have stuff all the time.
So if you're dehydrating your kale and then you then do your tomatoes and throw them on another tray?
Absolutely. I mean, I have 10 dehydrators, right? And they're going.
You must have more than that.
Right. So this is so after I put them in the dehydrator with a couple of tablespoon, whatever you want, of olive oil and salt. I put in a bit of lemon juice and a touch more olive oil. And let's see if this will work. Hopefully there's enough moisture in there. This is going to go on the kale with the sour cream, and spinach. That's an amazing machine. Yeah, it's nice.
Do you know about the Omni? Do you like the Omni? It's a little cheaper, but
I don't know about the Omni. Came out nice. You know, other things that you could add to this to make it a little, I was just going to add a little bit of water to it to smooth it out a little bit, but I don't think it actually needs it. You know, you can do things, add a little nutritional yeast to it if you want. I just love bell peppers, so I like those things, especially when they're organic. They seem to sing their flavor much more than conventional. So I try and let the bell pepper do the talking. Okay. Sour cream. What are we going to do here? My nuts go somewhere? Where are my nuts? Oh, thanks. Are the other blenders in here?
No, they're on the counter right there.
Oh, okay.
Do you need the first one cleaned out?
No, I think I have enough for. Okay, we're going to make a little bit of sour cream. What do you think goes in this?
Rejuvelac.
Thank you. Not much. Depending on how much you want to make, I pretty much don't make anything less than use 2 cups of soaked cashews, just because I love this, this stuff. We're going to go 2 teaspoons of date paste.
Where do you get your date paste? Do you make it?
I make it. It's really easy to make. Want that one too?
Yeah, please.
Okay. A cup of medjool dates. I use medjool, but you can use whatever you want. I like them because they're soft. With a half a cup of water, blended, and that's it.
That was too complicated.
Now, if they get the other thing you can do, if they get dry, if the dates get dry, soak them before you blend them.
Can't you just throw dates in there without making the paste first?
You possibly could.
Welcome, you can.
Yeah, you can. Absolutely. Absolutely, you could.
So what is that? That's for the rejuvelac?
That I'm about to put in here. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Let's go 4 tablespoons of olive oil. 1/4 to 1/2 cup of rejuvelac. Did I say 2 teaspoons of date paste?
Yeah.
And 2 tablespoons of lemon or lime. And a nice big heaping pinch of salt. Don't be afraid of salt, especially if you're using good stuff. So if it's too thick, which it is, not much though, just a smidgen of water. Or did we have any rejuvelac left? I would have thrown actually some rejuvelac in. I'm always looking for flavor. Pretty nice. Very nice, actually. Okay. Pretty much have everything under control. I think what we should do is, you think we should eat a little bit and then do the haystacks? Yeah. Or do you want to do the haystacks? Because I want you guys to taste the haystacks when they come out of the freezer. They're amazing. You won't even want haystacks any other way. There's a huge difference between getting them like really fresh, which we're going to do tonight, and having them even a day old. I mean, not that they're not good a day old. They're just completely different. Getting them right out, they're creamy. Puts a Mounds bar to shame. So, Alex, I could use your help.
You need somebody else to help?
Yes. I'm going to have you do avocado. Yes, I'm just throwing a couple, just so you guys can get an idea. It's not going to be a complete lasagna. It's just going to be a little taste of one.
You mentioned the green on green.
Yes. Yeah, let me do that. Just the green on green with, and then we're going to do a lasagna with the tomato sauce that we made tonight, and the cheese that we made. The green on green has the red bell pepper, and the sour cream with it. Where is the? Oh. No, but I got to tell you about a little story. I improved the sushi cone the other day. I was like desperate. I didn't want to go to the store. It's midnight, and I needed some lemon juice for the wasabi mayonnaise, and so I said, screw it. I'm going to take the ginger lemonade that I've got. It has the agave, and I threw it in. Oh, it just lightened that thing up, and it's amazing. Now it's in the recipe.
So what are you doing now? Just massaging?
Just massaging some spinach, just like I did with olive oil and salt.
So, you want as many plates on here as possible? Or you want to do them like groups of 9?
Yeah, that's groups of 9 is good, don't you think?
Okay, groups of 9.
That's manageable.
Okay.
Okay, so this one gets the sour cream, which is right there.
Okay.
The red pepper sauce. So we're going to need spoons for all of those.
Okay.
And then this will get the crispy kale as well. They're right here.
So, and what's the base? Avocado?
Yes.
And how many slices on each plate?
Just a couple. Well, divide it up by how many? 30?
Yeah, how many do we have?
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Pardon
Behind
me.
you.
That's all right.
Behind you in the kitchen.
Okay, hold on one second.
So is that too many?
No, that's fine. In fact, I'll start right there.
Not including you, James?
Right behind you. Yeah?
Not including you, you want one too?
I might, yeah. I haven't had one yet. Okay, where's this thing?
Really kind of interesting and cool, but
So if you can imagine this one, the spinach is not massaged down to where I would like it to be. It needs to go a little bit farther, but we're pressed for time. And then I would layer this. There's avocado in there. I would stack that thing up this high. You could do another layer of sour cream, another layer of red bell pepper sauce.
Yeah, I think we're safe with like 38.
Okay. I just want to show, this is an example. So this is my pasta here, my flaxseed cracker, whatever you're going to use. Put a little cheese on it. A little tomato. And a wilted, where's the wilted? Yeah.
What about if we clear this so you can cut here too? Would that
Yeah,
help?
yeah, that'll be fine. So this is another one. You would stack this thing up, and put another layer on it if you'd like. Okay. Who's going to come in behind me? Where's the? Oh, here we go. Okay, Alex.
Yeah.
Come in behind me and put on a piece of kale on top of these.
Oh, okay. Is this being used? No. Salt.
Maybe two.
Okay.
You can do it. You can do it in any way you want. I'm just giving you guys, an idea of how it might be done. I'm a big fan of, on the way over here, I thought about my Moroccan squash cone and making it into a lasagna.
So we're doing just the one right now?
No, we're doing both of
We're
them.
doing both of them right now.
Can you repeat what the layers are?
Sure.
The cracker one?
The cracker one? The cracker one's simple. Cracker, nut cheese, tomato sauce, and arugula wilted or an arugula pesto.
The other one is
Kale chips, sour cream, avocado, spinach, red bell pepper sauce.
Start putting arugula over here. Okay.
No,
No.
that goes
No.
on.
Oh, sorry. Oh, it's actually spinach.
Yeah. Yeah, go spinach.
So you're sure do you have any more plates?
Yeah, I do, in that box down there.
So there's no cheese in the kale chip one.
There's this, here's the thing about the kale chip one. The sour cream, you could put a cheese in there if you wanted to, absolutely.
Yeah.
You've got so much fat between the avocado and the sour cream.
How many do
And who's counting calories?
No, from a tummy perspective, that's plenty of nuts for one serving. Not even about calories, but just how your stomach feels.
about 9 more.
Right.
Yeah, if you added cheese, it would give you flavor.
When you're talking about you're stacking that pie with several layers, you're just plating them on a plate like this, not doing it as a lasagna.
Well, you could. You could if you had a casserole plate. You would just, I wouldn't want to slice something like that up. So I would just make individual things, put a cover on it, take it to the person's house, and then just scoop out the individual. Okay, where's the cheese? All right. Pardon me?
Let me get those. When you're done with one, I'll take.
It's not done yet. Oh, we got more.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, I just. No. No.
Rejuvelac.
Right. And just so you know, this cheese, when you taste it, is probably about 4 days old. So the reason I wanted you to, when you taste it, is that it's going to be different 4 days from the first day.
But it's not cooked yet.
Yeah.
It needs to be massaged.
Massaged.
It needs to go to the spa.
What happened to my other, where's my arugula?
Cat, put out some crackers. Maybe that
Here.
would be helpful. Cat,
Here we go. This one's done.
there's some crackers right there.
So you're
These
putting
are all-
a half a cracker on each one?
Yeah. Yes. Right there. And there's some in the dehydrator.
Yeah, the forks too. That's a good idea. Oh my gosh. Okay.
But,
Definitely need to make more spinach.
okay.
This was just salt and olive oil?
Oh, yeah. Here you go. And we have, and you can put, the whole thing is if we run out of spinach, we'll put arugula on it.
Okay. All right. How much olive oil?
Just a drizzle. And salt.
Where'd your shelf go?
Oh, right there. Want me to do it so you don't get your hands dirty?
Yeah, I feel like I should go wash my hands if I do it.
Okay.
I don't know how this is.
Okay.
In the front row, there's one without avocado.
Okay. All those need kale chips on top.
Okay.
And then the cracker needs a. Turn it off, sure. So this is it right here?
Yeah, this is it. This is it.
The other thing is when you look at doing dishes like this, look at the components of it from the sense of, the sour cream. You should be, that's a nice to have. You should make a nice batch of that and use it, on potatoes if you have to. Same with the red bell pepper sauce. Okay.
Do you have any books that you really like?
Oh, thank you for asking. I brought one.
You go to Marin, the farmers markets in Marin?
Been trying. You know, you have to realize getting into these farmers markets nowadays is very, very difficult. Been trying to get into the Ferry Building for 3 years.
Why is that?
Because they're actually fair. They're pretty lucrative, and well, it's got to give away your firstborn. The tomato sauce.
Yeah, you're yeah.
I think it should be based on the direct.
I agree.
Shooting for a particular time.
No, we were shooting for,
Yes, and I have another tomato sauce too.
yeah, we have about another hour or so.
Oh, I don't. Pardon me?
Equal amounts to the cheese.
Yeah, you can actually put a little extra on there if you want. I mean, just it's got to cover all of these. You've got another container of it. You weren't expecting this, were you, Darcy?
I wasn't expecting you did this on purpose, right? To surprise me.
No, I just started thinking about, I'm really into layered food. I love layered food. So I came up with an idea for a lasagna for the Moroccan squash. Yeah. Okay.
No, are these ready or no?
No, this needs a sour cream.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'll let you put that on there.
Okay.
Oh, right here, Alex. And then the red pepper sauce.
Okay. So like a teaspoon?
Yeah,
And you want to...
No, there's more.
there's more. Oh. Switch. Sure. I'm listening. You walk down to Whole Foods, you go to Lydia, and you grab some freaking crackers. That's the whole reason I did this was for the convenience. You go buy some crispy kale, and you use that as your lasagna. You don't have to make the crispy kale, right? You just use somebody else's. Now we're getting into this, now we're into the prepared food. We're like everybody else now. Oh, sorry.
So you can also buy something Cafe Gratitude, and I'll be teaching a dehydration basics class, like how to make the kale and how to make the crackers in the summertime. But I wanted to know, when it comes to cones and to crackers, what kind of combinations you like and what you found in experimenting with the cracker cone part. I want to hear a little bit about.
Okay. Right now, I guess it's my fetish. I'm really into making breads.
Gluten-free bread.
Gluten-free, starch-free.
I definitely want some recipes because I can't eat.
I'm not giving those out yet, and just because there's an opportunity.
Is there anything you want to say about the things that we're eating now, like about cracker combinations you like?
Okay, if I can be completely honest, I don't like anything in the store. I mean, I just don't. This one's done. Do I eat them? I absolutely eat them. Do I like eating them? I do them when I'm desperate. Here's the thing about crackers, they're too easy to make.
There's no arugula on that.
Oh, good.
You want arugula.
Jody. No,
She got her plate already.
Here, I'll take this.
Okay. I'll get you some.
I think just one needed it, or are you putting on all of them?
Oh yeah. Don't you think? Or are all? Is everybody fed? Okay. Where's the? What do we do with the salt again? Here, grab it right over there. I love that you're tall.
Can reach them.
Yes.
It's
People
almost
ask me
there.
about the
It's very
store.
close. It's just the arugula and
That's it.
I think my grandson would eat this kind of kale.
Think so?
That's, I mean,
That kale's bright, huh?
That is unbelievable. He will not eat a vegetable. But it's so
The what?
It's so bright, yeah, it's bright and sour and
I'm into bright.
you like that.
We like bright.
I like the red.
So I guess I didn't really answer your question. I guess what I'm a very hearty eater, so my crackers, other than the cones, I like the cones to be very delicate. I like my crackers to be a little bit hearty. I don't mind putting nuts in my crackers. I don't know. Honestly, I haven't been making crackers recently just because I've just been experimenting with breads. But
These are ready.
yeah, just because I've been making, ready.
Over here?
Over there too? Okay.
So good, so good. Thank you so much.
Do you have a favorite cone flavor?
Do I?
Yeah.
My two favorite are the Reuben and the Pilgrim's Cream. Look at. I go to the farmer's market on Saturday at Berkeley, and I start the day off with a Pilgrim's Cream, and I move swiftly into a Reuben and then a sushi, and I just have to start holding myself back. So, I'll throw in a spicy Thai just for good measure. You're tasting the garlic in the tomato sauce, right? And is it offensive or?
flavorful.
It's flavorful, yeah.
Done.
Okay.
These are all extra.
Oh, these are? Huh. Dinner
Yep.
Dinner time.
Pick which one you want.
Pardon me? Yeah, it's
Obviously, it's possible to do with any.
yeah.
It's always
It's very ceviche.
What do you mean by that? That can be used.
Well, ceviche. It's they take shellfish, lime, salt.
Oh, just because it's the combination.
Yeah, it's the acid and the salt, and it breaks it down. Okay, we wash this on. Okay, I'm going to do the, while you're eating, I'm going to do the chocolate haystacks. The one you've been waiting for, probably. Oh, the book, yeah. Okay, everybody wants me to talk about raw food cookbooks. I can't tell you. Once you know how to sprout something and blend something up, get a raw food cookbook and read it, and you're done. What you really need to do, I wouldn't recommend, unless you've been to culinary school, which I have been, or like a real, culinary. Not that raw food places are not. They're not that they're not culinary, but how do I put this?
Non-PC.
When I first got into eating raw, everybody had graduated from the living light. And you go around to these restaurants, and I would be like, wow, that tastes like theirs, and that tastes like theirs, and that tastes like theirs. So nobody was like doing anything really super innovative except the people on the East Coast. And I traveled all over the country. I've gone to probably 100 different raw food restaurants all over the country. Pure Food and Wine is absolutely, the best if you get the chance. I have not been to Michael Kenny's OKC yet, but I'm sure it's very good. What I would recommend you do is to get this book called Culinary Artistry. This kind of sits by my bed, and they talk about flavor profiles in here. What goes together? And they do talk about meat and dairy and all that stuff, but they also talk about quinoa and everything else that we in the raw food world like to deal with. They talk about cherries. What goes with cherries, right? What do you think goes with cherries? And this is science, by the way. This is almonds.
Chocolate.
Okay? Lemon, right? So learning your flavor profiles and getting ideas from a book like this is much more advantageous than getting a recipe book. But, go ahead. Go ahead. What?
It doesn't have anything to do with you, I'm sorry.
Okay, so that's my book, Culinary Artistry. You can pass it around if you'd like. Okay. It absolutely, well, it gave me, it gives you really fabulous ideas. The mushroom polenta cone came out of that with mustard. Okay. The highlight.
So you're in Berkeley on Saturdays?
I am. Okay, we prefer to only use one kind of No, you do not. I prefer to use this coconut over this, whatever you want to call it. This is shredded. Here's the deal. This is the big flaky one. This one, they shred this stuff so fine that it oxidizes very quickly, and it's extremely dry most of the time. And I like the haystacks to be moist.
So use that smaller one.
So here is the recipe. We're going to get 3 cups of coconut. But you have to break down that big shredded coconut. And when you break it down in the blender, what it does to it is that it moistens it when you put it in there. I can't tell you. I mean, honestly, I can't tell you. My lawyer said not to. So what you do is you take this. Now, you don't want to fill this up. You have to do this in batches. I've done this with all different kinds of blender sizes. You only want to fill it up about halfway because otherwise you're going to end up with this, right? All you want to do is take a couple of handfuls. And a couple of handfuls is going to turn this into about 1.5 cups. So you're going to have to make 2 batches. Okay, and you don't want to blend it too hard. Shake it up. You just want to break it. See, when it starts to go in like that, when it starts to blend like that, you're done. Okay, so that makes about, and I've done this so many times, it makes it about a cup and a half. And you want 3 cups, so we're going to do it twice. Now, the other thing, when you start to talk about chocolate haystacks and you taste other people's chocolate haystacks that are so good, what they don't do, and I am dead honest about this, they don't use enough of the good stuff. They use too much coconut and not enough fat. You need the coconut. Now, look, if you're on a health kick, coconut oil is great. But if you're on, like, the 80-20-20, you're probably not going to want to eat these anyway. That's it. So when you chop it up like this, the chunks are a little bit bigger. They're a lot bigger than this, and it actually moistens up the coconut. Okay, so we're at 3 cups of 3 cups of coconut.
Where do you get your coconut?
I buy it in 25-pound bags from Rainbow Grocers. By the way, I'm making a double batch tonight, so everybody gets, okay. But I'm giving you one that will make about anywhere between 21 and 24, the recipe that I'm giving you. So it's 3/4 a cup of raw chocolate if you prefer, or some, high quality goods. Yeah.
What is it? Is it just cocoa
Yeah, cacao.
Cacao, I mean.
Yeah. And let me tell you something. I have talked to a lot of cacao experts, and they're telling me that the raw cacao is a scam because you have to cook it in order to get any kind of flavor out of it. That's what I've been told. I don't know for sure.
I took a class on raw chocolate making with chocolate guru and Nathaniel Zolan something. Anyway, he buys from a maker who uses ozone. They ozonate their beans rather than roasting them.
That sounds good.
So the ozonation process, I was concerned about the germs and whatnot. It does kill them, and it doesn't heat them up. So it actually is raw.
Great. Now, where can you get it?
You can get it from him, and through this I can give you contact information.
Do you want to give that you just?
They're bringing
Okay.
it on the market.
So you're going to do 1 cup and 1/8 of raw extra virgin coconut oil. Oh, Alex, in that room in there is a refrigerator with some plates. Can you just bring out 1 plate?
Speaking of raw and extra virgin coconut oil, I was just looking into that today. Extra virgin is not necessarily raw. So there are actually 3 different ways to get coconut oil. There's expeller pressed, which is heated. There's extra virgin, which is usually cold pressed, or it is cold pressed, but it's sometimes heated afterwards. And there's also centrifugal, which is typically raw. So that's
Can you put a piece of cellophane on it?
What's that? Okay.
Okay, this is 3/4 of a cup of agave. Mahadva, I buy it in 5-gallon containers. And 3/4 of a teaspoon of vanilla.
And how much agave?
3/4. So you're doing equal parts of chocolate and agave. A cup and 1/8 of raw extra virgin coconut oil. And that's it. So it's not rocket science. But let me tell you where the rocket science comes in. Blending this right, because if you blend it too much, the oil separates from everything. I mean, not that it's a bad thing. What ends up happening is your haystacks will have like a whiteness to them because the coconut oil has separated. But I mean, they still taste great. Literally, that's it.
What strikes me James, would be fun if anybody plays with the medicine flower essential, the essences. It would be fun to play with particular rock ones. You could do a local one. Kaya was here, I don't know, a year ago. If anybody was there just working.
You need a spatula.
Yeah.
The medicine flower essential oils.
Say that again. I was looking for my spatula.
I wasn't the only one in the room here who was here when Kaya came and worked on desserts with us.
Uh-huh.
Introducing us to the medicine flower. They have these essential, I wouldn't call them oils, but they're essences, incredibly high quality essences that are very unique. So you can do like a coffee one, I've got blueberry and rum, and you can get these kind of different flavors that you wouldn't typically be able to find in the store. More for chocolates and in my smoothies, but they would go well in here.
Well, I just remembered. I just did a bat that first one. I only did. I did a single batch, but this is a double batch of liquid. So I'm just going to throw in some more. But what I will tell you is that you do not want to put in too much coconut. I mean, where these things really start to shine is when you get the right amount of coconut to chocolate. It is still 3 cups. I'm just adding some because I've got so much chocolate in here that.
So you use more than 3/4 cup chocolate? Is that what
I used a cup and a half of chocolate. I'm making a double batch. I'm trying to make about 40 of these things, right? So that everybody gets to, try some.
So what's the right ratio? How do you know?
Oh, well, I know that the right ratio is exactly what I've been telling you. That's exactly. I mean, I just screwed up and didn't put 6 cups of coconut in here. So this is going to be a good batch.
So did you cook regular food too? Then? Did you do culinary school?
Oh yeah, I worked in restaurants from the age of 13 or 13 as a dishwasher in a Chinese restaurant. They used me as an experimenting tool for hot sauce, and would laugh about it. Okay. Now these, so we use that we use the little. Oh, thank you. Nice.
Oh, look at your cone.
The other thing that you'll find when you're doing these things, it will depend on how hot the room is. If the room is really hot, the coconut oil will want to separate, and then you have to move very, very quickly. So it's.
So you get a melon bowl scooper?
That's what I mean. You can look at. You can use your hand. Okay, it doesn't really.
That's actually like a sorbet scooper, right?
Yeah. I mean, and I was tempted to bring a melon scooper, to do small ones, and I thought, don't be a cheap bastard, feed these people.
Somebody move that blender, please.
Yeah, we can't see you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Are we done with the blender?
Yes.
All right.
So you're just putting on.
I'm putting it on a chilled plate.
On plastic, so that's
Can you tell us how you marinate mushrooms for the polenta? I don't know.
No, I can tell you. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, really. So you take, for 3 pounds of mushrooms, you take 4 tablespoons white truffle oil. Those go back in there, and then and I'll take another. Yeah. Tablespoons. a teaspoon of salt, smoked sea salt. Either buy smoked sea salt or make your own. I showed you how to make your own. 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. And 2 tablespoons of thyme, dried thyme. I use dried. Feel free to use fresh thyme. The only reason I'm using, I prefer fresh over dried, but when you're, cranking this stuff out, there's no way I'm going to sit there and clean thyme. I mean, you're asking for a miracle. So then you just toss all of that together. And then you take...
Then you slice mushrooms, I take it?
Yes. You take... 3 carrots. I'm sorry. 3 large pieces of celery. Weigh them out and put equal amounts of carrots with it. 6 cloves of garlic. Weigh them out. Double the onion or shallot, whatever you're using. Blend into in a food processor. Not that they're you don't want them really mushy. You want them chunky, and then toss them in with the mushrooms. And then you're going to put in. So the reason that you put the salt, the lemon, the olive oil, the white truffle oil, is you want to start breaking the mushrooms down immediately. And they will. You'll notice they will start to break down.
How long do they stay in that?
Say where?
How long do they sit in that?
Well, they're not done yet.
Okay, well, how many cloves of garlic do we put?
6. Whoa. 6. Then that's double the onion or shallot. Then put in. Start off with a third of a cup of good olive oil, extra virgin, of course, organic if you can. Toss all that together, and if they should be somewhat moist. They are going to get moister, but if they're like bone dry, add a little bit more olive oil. And then throw them in the dehydrator for about 4 or 5 hours. But here's the cool thing about that recipe. You could literally take that the way it sits right there, and I've done this before. Throw them into a container like this. Put them in the refrigerator for a day, and they'll come out cooked. I use brown, criminy, baby portobellas, oyster when I find them. Okay, I think the first one. Remember which first one?
Already ready?
They should be. I mean, if the refrigerator's cold.
It's the freezer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If the freezer's cold, they
First batch will be ready.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
They're going to be soft. You're not going to be. I want them to eat them when they're somewhat soft.
what do you put them on in the dehydrator? Or with the,
Oh, that? Actually, you can get a quarter. You go to restaurant supply store and ask them for a quarter sheet pan. It's amazing. What happens is the screen inside here, it'll fit right underneath the screen, so the whole sheet will go in there.
Do you want me to pass them around with napkins?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're ready. We should have some more. Darcy, are there some more napkins in that thing? Oh, hold on.
You do it on the pan so they don't
I'll do about 10 napkins.
You do it on the baking pan so they don't
Yeah, or that pan I had here earlier. I put them on that.
Where do you get the porcelain pans like you had?
Sur La Table, I think, has them. Or this is sea salt. And then this is where you guys can get creative. I used to put lavender on here because I had a bunch of lavender salt in it. Now I don't, have any lavender salt. So, you can put vanilla salt on top. You can put some cayenne on there. Good call.
How long do you freeze it usually? Just until...
That was it. Then what I'll do is I'll take them and I'll put them in containers like this, right? I put 10 to a container and I put it in the refrigerator. Move it into the refrigerator. No, these things, look at, these things will get back to this right here. See, this to me is a little dry even. Okay? But they're still going to be phenomenal.
How would you moisten it up?
More of your secret sauce. I mean, last night I was making these and it was like, God, they're a little dry. So I, just started taking coconut oil, that was, the jars that were empty. And I just started pouring the coconut oil in there to moisten them up. And it seemed to work.
And you put them in the freezer for
Just what you saw.
50 minutes?
No, not even. 5. That's all they really need. If you leave them in there for 15, okay, it's not going to ruin anything.
5 minutes, and then you sprinkle the salt.
Actually, you should probably sprinkle the salt on first.
Sprinkle the salt. Put them in
But I'm so, talking to everybody.
And then after that, then you store it in the freezer.
The purpose of doing the freezer, just so you get a quick freeze in the coconut.
Yeah, because they,
start to burn.
yeah, you'll know. I mean, like I said, this is a little thick as far as coconut goes. Thank you. When it's not this thick, you'll know, and it's warm it's warm in the kitchen, and God, you're sweating, and the coconut oil will end up all over the pan. That's why I freeze this, so when it does hit, it stops moving. You can make these things any size. I like this size. The smaller ones, they're nice for grandma.
Meaning what?
Meaning, let's have some.
So much.
Yeah. They don't want to get the coconut in between their dentures. It's kind of interesting too, trying to train people to do this. I have this guy come over to the house. He hasn't really worked in a kitchen before, and he's very, very right-handed. So what he wants to do is he fills it up, and then he goes like this. Like, you'll be here all day, buddy. So this is what, our 4th tray or 3rd?
That's the 4th.
Okay.
Yeah, the 3rd one is still chilling a little bit.
Cool. So the 3rd one should be done then.
Should be. Wasn't quite done.
So who's tasted these? Are they different? No? They're not as hard. If you notice when I fill them, I don't level them off. You kind of make them round. All right, we're done. Any questions? Who wants the recipe for the polenta? Come on. You'll never make polenta any other way. So right now I've been using, because the best way, let me just tell you, the best way to do it, summertime, and if, you're kind of a food Nazi like myself, you will do this. You get fresh corn and take the kernels off the cob. It's insanity. 2 pounds of corn, frozen, non-GMO, organic, from Whole Foods.
Where do you get it when it doesn't have it?
Those are cooked. The ones off the cob are raw, right?
No, they're not cooked.
Oh, so you buy it, or you buy it from?
Raw. They're not cooked.
I'll call them. 1 piece of celery, 1 clove of garlic weighed, double the onion or shallot, a teaspoon of salt, and 2 tablespoons of lime. You need the lime to break down the corn.
How much salt?
1 teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of lime. Oh, and just a small piece of serrano chili. Oh, thanks. Take the celery, garlic, onion, and serrano chili. Put it in the food processor and let it, chop up and hit the sides. It'll stick to the sides. Push it back down in. Add your salt, lime, and 2 pounds of corn. Blend for 3 minutes. Put it on a tray in the dehydrator for about 4 hours. What you'll notice is that the corn is too moist to use coming out of the food processor. So by putting it back in the dehydrator, you're building a crust. You're forming a crust on the outside that gives it some structure. And it's just, amazing.
4 hours?
4 to 5 hours. I mean, I've actually fallen asleep and I was in there for 8. Gets a little crusty, but it's still good. No, it's a nut-free cone. That's funny that you say that because when I originally made it, I put cashews in it. And then a buddy of mine goes, dude, make it nut-free. I'm like, all right. So, and you know what? It didn't make a difference. It didn't make a difference at all. Couldn't tell.
So, the frozen corn that I buy, isn't that pre-cooked? It's not raw.
No, you can call. So here's the other thing. You can call a lot of these vendors, right? You can go into, even Costco has a lot of organic. I buy 5 pounds or 10 pounds of organic carrots at Costco for $4.50. I'm trying to figure out who's making any money on the deal. It's just absolutely staggering. So you can go into places and call the manufacturer. I went into Costco to talk about their mushrooms because they have wild mushrooms in there, chanterelles and things like that. They gave me the guy's phone number. I talked to the owner of the company. He's like, no, we do not use pesticides. I have kids too.
What's the company?
Monterey Mushroom Company. Oh.
So I want to know who didn't get one of these yet. Whole row, this whole row. Okay, everybody in the other rows. Wait, you already got one. Yeah, she's already got one.
We have more back here too. They're just not the fresh ones.
You buy anything else from Costco?
I will. There's a certain brand of bell pepper and cucumber that I will buy on occasion if it's in. Otherwise, not much. I only buy their organic stuff. They're actually getting more and more organic stuff. I mean, it's really. And every time I go in there, I fill out one of those things. What would you like to see? It's not a very good place for the average consumer unless you've got 10 kids. They have. Well, I won't buy them right now because it's completely out of season. But they've got organic blueberries and raspberries. They're probably coming from God knows who where. So, yeah.
Really good.
Oh, really? Dialed in? I didn't even put salt on those, I don't think. Oh, it's all right. Pardon me? You want some?
Yes.
It's huge difference.
It doesn't taste like wood,
Like a salt. I didn't put the salt on. Oh, yeah. Salt makes huge
Salt
difference.
does make a huge difference.
Taste it now.
Okay. Thanks.
Hold on. Okay, am I done?
I think so. You have a few more cones to sell. Do you want to sell the rest?
Yeah, whatever, yeah.
And,
I've got chocolate haystacks too if you want.
Your coconut comes from what grocery store? Rainbow?
It comes from Rainbow. As do my flax seeds.
So the haystacks are where? And I'll get something for them. And how much are they again?
$3 each or 2 for right.
Okay, so the haystacks are,
And I have to-go containers too in there if you want.
and yeah, just in case people want.
Oh my God, that's good. Is that good? Good.
How did everybody love those lasagnas? Were they? They were kind of a surprise, huh? Yeah. They were gourmet.
See, look at this. Now look at the chip. It's a piece of lasagna now. Check it out.
Really, really good.
Well, we should eat them then. Who's ever hungry? Oh wait, this needs those need
Okay, so Pat, you're gonna sell the
Whoa, 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 whoa. My God, people.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You need a little more sour cream.
I need more sour cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.